Hi guys, good morning. Welcome to another episode of Clangin and Bangin with Mikey, episode 71. And yo, I look jacked. Okay, that's enough of that. Um, yeah, great news. The album is finished. I sent my boy, who's my sound engineer, all the stems for the tracks that was gonna be on the album, and the only thing we gotta do is work on the vocals, and we gotta clean everything up. We got to master the tracks, but yo, it is finished. It is done. A lot of work went into this album. A lot of it is personal shit. Whether it's family, friends, whatever it is. And one thing I was working on throughout this album is cause usually I write down my thoughts, but what I started doing, I would do the same thing Jay-Z does. I would just listen to the beat, and whatever came to my mind, I wouldn't even write it down. I would just like, boom, this is what we're doing. And so that's why a lot of the stuff is like a freestyle, or coming out the top of my dome. When I say I'm, when I say, oh, well, this is coming from the top of the dome, that means I didn't write none of it down. But yeah, man, I'm stoked because that's hot. Meeting with my boy later on today, and we're gonna bang out these tracks, and hopefully, all the samples clear, and all the original work, because some of the stuff on the track is me, keyboards, beat progressions and chords and everything. Some of that stuff is me, but a lot of the stuff is samples. Samples, man, they help keep me creative. The one thing I did notice when I was working on the album is I gotta get better at my flow and delivery. And like you may look at that and be like, oh, if your flow and delivery is not up to where you want it to be, why release the album? It's like, because at the end of the day, it's time, man. You gotta have a benchmark, and not everything that you do is gonna be great. The first time you do it, it's not gonna be great. I remember the first time, the first mixtape I did, like 12 years ago. I recorded it off a digital voice recorder. I didn't have none of the shit I had now. Like all I had back then was I had a pair of computer, speakers, and that's about it. Like I would literally rap over the beat. Like I would hit the record button on the tape recorder, have the music blend through the speakers, and I would rap over the beat. You know, and I remember then I had to actually download the files from the tape recorder through the computer and then edit it that way. And matter of fact, I didn't even edit it. That means it was just a bunch of freestyles that I did. And so at the end of the day, yeah, came a long way. Writing's gotten better. Flow and progression has gotten better. If I was to compare both, my first mixtape and this album is definitely better. It has some pockets of space in it, and it had not, like not dead space, but it, like, you could tell I was thinking while I was rapping, rapping at the same time. So every bar that I was doing, I was already thinking of the next bar in my head, and so, and a lot of it, man, it's just growth. A lot of it is just growing pains, and all the shit that you wouldn't think you go through, that everybody goes through. Drama, heartbreak, all that shit. And so at the end of the day, yeah, the album is done. Like I said, we just gonna work on some mixing, some mastering. And we gonna get it done. So at the end of the day, it's gonna be on all streaming platforms, Spotify, Apple Music, whatever you have. It's gonna be there. So when you guys hear it, run my streams up. Um, and I'm open to criticism. I'm open to getting better because at the end of the day, this is the craft, and like this is what I want to do, and so this is what we gonna do. But on a personal note, man, a couple days ago, I was on Instagram, and one of the first people that I met when I first moved to Northern California, I found out that he died. He had some sort of condition. I don't know what it was, and I've never been the type of person to actually inquire how somebody died. It's like, to me, that just seems weird to ask. I'm like, oh, how did he die? Like, how does that serve you? So at the end of the day, there's that, and I remember I was young too. I was in my late 20s. Yeah, I was in my late 20s, and he would always his thing was always man, you gotta value the concept of time. You gotta value it because it's something that you can't get back. It's something that you can't like you can't buy it back. You can like you can rent it out, whatever it is, but it's like the concept of time is something a lot of people don't understand. It's like, and even if you beefing with somebody, just make peace with them. And yeah, and for the short period of time that I was in Sacramento, yeah, the dude was always positive, man. It's like he would always say, like, bro, he's like, you gotta do what's best for you. And he's like at the end of the day, a lot of people may not understand it, but you gotta do what's best for you because because it's your life, and and everybody gonna make mistakes, but I'd rather trust somebody who's made mistakes versus somebody who's too afraid to make mistakes. Um, which brings me to my best friend. Whew, she yeah. I ain't gonna lie. A nigga is not the most easy person to be with. Um, my problem is that I am extremely sarcastic. Um, and we was talking in the DMs yesterday, and she said something, and I had no idea that she was agreeing with me, and I thought she was just blowing me off. And so I said, "Hey, thanks for that, Captain Obvious. I'll make a note of it." And that sent her. She she got pissed. But it was because it was a misunderstanding between the two of us. Um, like I said, I had no idea, that she was agreeing with me. I thought she was blowing me off. Or whatever it is, right? So with that being said, it goes back to it goes back to what to what dude said about apologize and just and just try to get better. Like understand the concept of time, and I think with the both of us, me and Shawty, is that like she'll get mad at me and then she'll be like, "Well, I want us to work on this." Like 20 minutes ago, you told me that that you didn't want to do anything. Like, what's the deal? But yeah, man. I understand the concept of time because time is something that you can't get back. And the older and older I get, the more I realize, like, bro, it's a lot of people dying, man. A lot of people are dying, and it's like you don't expect that shit to happen because it's like like you think everybody's gonna live to like 80s, 90s, and 100s, and it's like a lot of people barely make it to 50. And so at the end of the day, understand the concept of time. I understand that we only have one life, and it's like, bro, you got it. And that was the correlation of this album. It's like it was a bunch of personal stuff that I went through. Whether it's in my 20s, 30s, whatever. There's some interludes, with my grandmother on the record. You know what I mean? There's interlude with my mom on the record, man. There's bits and pieces with my brother. There's bits and pieces of Shorty on the record too. I mean, so there's a lot of shit on that on that album. It's like a lot of it is not personable, but it's personable to me, and it helps me stay grounded, helps me stay rooted, man. But yo, This is 10 minutes of your life that you won't get back. I appreciate y'all. I love y'all, and whatever support you guys are giving me, keep doing it, because positive vibes only on this end. Hope y'all keeping in the 4Ps. Private player, positive pushing. See y'all next week. Love y'all. Mikey. Ghost.